We're going to read a little poem for you by a man named Robert Service called The Cremation of Sam McGee. All right? All right, here we go. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold, and the Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The Northern Lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the marge of Lake LaBarge that I cremated Sam McGee.
Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows, and why he left his South to roam around the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but in the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. On a Christmas day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Tall could get cold through the parka's fold that stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes we'd closed, then the lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see, and it wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. That very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe, he turned to me and, "Cap," says he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess, and if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request."
Well, it seemed so low that I couldn't say no, we said with a sort of moan. Well, it's the cursed cold and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet it ain't been dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul and fair you'll cremate my last remains. And a pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore that I would not fail. And we started on at the streak of dawn. God, he looked ghastly pale. And he crouched on the sleigh and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that remained of Sam McGee. And there wasn't a last breath in that land of death as I hurried horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. And it latched to the sleigh and it seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brains, but your promise true, and it's up to you to cremate those last remains."
Promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart how I cursed that load. In the long, long night, by the lone firelight, while the huskies round a ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows, oh God, how I loathed the thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavier and heavier grow, and on I went through the dogs were spent and the grove was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake LaBarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw it twice, and it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum, and then here I said with a sudden cry, "It's my crematorium."
Some planks I tore from the cabin door, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The flames just soared and the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in the burning coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled and the huskies howled and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and they danced about ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, "I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked," and it's time I looked. Then the door I opened wide.
And there sits Sam looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile you could see for a mile, and he said, "Please close the door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and the storm. Since I left Plum Tree down in Tennessee, it's the first time that I've been warm."
Give him a hand for being such a good sport. Go ahead,
Scruffy City Roots is produced by Hang Die Media, Attack Monkey Productions, and 4MS Productions, and it's heard live on 90.3 The Rock. Join us for our next show, Thursday, May 17th. I'm Benny Smith from WTK Knoxville. Thank you folks for coming. Thank you folks for tuning in at home. Thank you, Pat Summit. And from the scruffy little city by the river, come see us sometime. Good night.
Things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. And the Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was a night of the marge of Lake LaBarge that I cremated Sam McGee. You guys be safe, and thanks again. Thank you all for coming.